Right, here we go then. It's Father's Day. So anyone who's a father out there, happy Father's Day. Thank you very much as well, Awaz, for a free cup. I do still love your drums. I know there's some teething problems, but possibly it's my fault, who knows. Anyway, I'm not talking about drums today. What we are talking about is fluke treatments. And also today, what I've got to do is a little bit nervous, maybe because my fish are absolutely mental, but I've got to bowl some of my fish and take some pictures ready for the upcoming show, the National. So to that end of things, I'm going to set up my little vat, see if I can take some decent pictures. I'm totally not sure what I'm going to be taking yet, so I'm going to rely on the expertise of someone else to pick out sort of my best selection, I guess. Not quite sure how the shows work. This is just, you know, literally breaking the ice for me in the shows. I'm just going to jump straight in. Yeah, make a little crack in the surface of the pond and jump straight in, innit? So, to that end of things, I've got to work out, well, in fact, one of my mates is going to work out for me how many points I've got for the vat and what size fish I can get to include in that point ratio. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if anyone knows how it works out, but basically if you've got a vat, depending on what size it is, you've got a certain amount of points for the vat, and different size fish equate to different amounts of points. So obviously you could take a lot more smaller fish than you could maybe only take 2 or 3 larger fish. Do you mean? So but I'm not going to go there with a stupid amount of fish anyway, so I don't really expect to do very well. But what I do expect to do is learn for the next time. So totally got no aspirations or dreams of winning absolutely anything. If I can get my fish up there, put them in the vat, let people look at them and bring them back safe and put them in the pond, I'm a winner. Chicken dinner. So that's the only thing I'm going to worry about. So what I want to talk about now is my fluke treatment. I smashed it. So I've taken loads of people's advice on board, and what I've done in the past is, like I said, you know, I've done fluke treatments now for 4 months since the start of, like, just after Christmas. I've had a couple of issues with flukes, and I've known that I've had some issues with flukes because my fish have been holding mucus and stuff like that and acting peculiar. Everyone who's got a pond that spends a lot of time looking at their fish will realise that, you know, obviously they know there's something wrong when their fish are acting strange. Not necessarily just flashing, but it's just, you know, holding excessive mucus and little bits and bobs going on, you know, like, you know, you come down and 1 week one koi's got a small little sore appearing on its side. You've got to take that out, topically treat it and all that kind of stuff. And all these little things, obviously if the water parameters are absolutely bang on, there's only one other thing it can be. It's not their environment, it's actually on them. So I've been doing scrapes and been finding flukes constantly, really. Do you know what I mean? Little less after some of the treatments, but then they just bounce back with vengeance. And I've learned quite a bit of stuff about flukes from different people. I didn't know flukes don't lay eggs. They lay live little baby flukes. Apart from gill flukes, they lay eggs apparently. But when you look at a fluke under the microscope, you can actually see the baby flukes inside the fluke, which is a good indication if it is a mature fluke or halfway through your treatments, once you've done the first treatment, whether it's a juvenile fluke or not. So that's really interesting. But all the other fluke treatments I've done, I've really just done, I don't know what the words, how to explain it, but not very diligently. Basically, I've sort of like paid a lot of money for products, looked at the amount that I need to put in for my pond, put it in, and just hoping it was going to do the job without actually doing any concurrent activity to make that treatment really hit home, you know, where it needs to be. So a treatment just whacked in your pond, I would say probably isn't going to do what it says on the tin. without doing certain things beforehand. So what I've done this time is I've really taken it seriously, and I've really talked to a lot of I've talked to some professional koi dealers, and I've also talked to a lot of really well established hobbyists as well. So what I did in the end is cleaned the bottom, purged the bottom drains, really proper job. Emptied the drum, cleaned the drum, proper job, even like cleaned the screens. I've been looking a bit more into that, and people use brick acid to clean the screens. A lot of people use the brick acid on like the proffies and stuff like that, where you can't actually take the screen out, which obviously it's obviously safe to do so because everyone's doing it. But I think I bricked myself a little bit using brick acid, excuse the pun, you know, like so close to the pond. The good thing with your wires, even though it's got a few shit shelves on it, you can actually take the screens out and we can brick acid them, rinse them all off. That is something I'm going to be doing in the next couple of weeks, because even though the screens are clean, they're a bit discoloured, but which is, you know, whatever. But anyway, so that's something that I'm going to do in the next couple of weeks. But anyway, going back to the Fluke treatment, so I cleaned the drains. I cleaned the whole pond basically. Do you know what I mean? I even give the windows a good clean to make sure there was no biofilm on that. Everything, the whole thing had a really good rinse out and clean. At the bottom of the drum, the shit shelves and all that kind of stuff. So I was confident that when I'd done my next step, which was PP in the pond. Now some people use chloramine T, some people use PP. I have used chloramine T in the past, but a while ago, over a year ago, so I wasn't too sure about that product. But what I have been using a lot of, what I have used a few times now this year is PP. So I went down the PP route, and also the PP I feel is probably a little bit easier for an amateur like me. Obviously it's a very harsh treatment, it's something that can't be taken lightly. Sticking any kind of chemical in a pond is scary, very scary really, because you just don't know, you know. Obviously it strips the oxygen from the water. You know, if you've got one fish that's got some gill damage or something like that, it could really suffer a lot more than the other fish. Now I know some friends of mine that are quite advanced hobbyists, they've had that problem. They've had the fish that had obviously, you know, respiratory problems with their gills and all that kind of stuff, and they just couldn't cut it in the PP. Even with excess air going to oxygenate the water, it just wasn't enough. So anyway, done the PP treatment anyway, and I feel it's a lot easier to work with that, because I think chloramine T is just you can't see it in the water. It dissipates into the water. It becomes a little bit cloudy for a while, I think, at the top of my head. But I think it's got that appearance when you put salt in the water, you've got that shimmy in the water. I think. I haven't used it for a long time. I used it actually about a year ago, just to totally blitz my pond. When the fish were out, I made a concoction of super concentrated chloramine T, because I had a bacterial problem, and what I wanted to do is literally wipe everything out in my pond. We're talking the filter bacteria, everything. I just wanted to get everything gone, and I actually made a bit of a concoction with, I think I'd done chloramine T, PP, and what's those tablets, Virkon tablets, and put them all in a bucket, super strong dose, stirred it all up. It was literally bubbling. It looked like something from Grotbag's cauldron. So that went straight in there, run it through the system for about 24 hours, obviously with no fish in there. Emptied the whole pond, jet washed the whole pond, filled it back up, and I literally done the same process again to eliminate any trace of bacteria in there. And touch wood, I haven't had a problem since. So anyway, that's that. So I'm quite confident with PP now. And how I've done my pond certainly isn't a standard for everyone else to use the same standard as I've done, because like I said, if you've got fish with like problems, or if you don't know your gallonage or your literage for your pond exactly, it could be horrendously fatal. So please always read the instructions and just go off those, unless you are talking to someone extremely experienced who actually, you know, would lay his life on the line, who knows it's going to work. But how I done my pond is I done the cleaning process, then I done the PP process. I done the PP process for a 3 or 4 hour shift, kept it purple. Then I basically neutralized the PP with hydrogen peroxide. Give the fish a 24-hour period of just chilling out. And I failed to tell you, actually, a few days before this I stopped the feed as well, because the next process I was going to do was going to involve bypassing the drum. Now obviously I haven't got a bypass in the drum, but I've done it a different way, which is 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's the same thing. I'm a great believer in, and I'm not saying this because of my experience, I'm just saying this because of common sense. I've got a little bit of common sense about me. And a lot of people say turn down your backy shower. I can't quite understand that. You know, I turn the backy shower up because I want to get as much flow, and I want to saturate that backy house media to permeate it as much as I can. If I could, I'd take it out, put it in onion sacks and put it in the pond. But my backy shower is really, it fits in there banging. You can't even put your finger across the top, so I can't take the media out. So I decided to turn the flow up to really just flood it, basically. And then what I've done then is I give the fish 24 hours, so they haven't been fed then for about 3 days. So their system is totally flushed within reason. And then what I've done is I put the air on. I actually dropped a couple of more air stones in there as well, just to aerate the place. I took a screen out of my drum. So I turned the drum off and I took a screen out of the Awaz drum, right? So that would create a bypass. And that's why I didn't feed the fish, because I didn't want any fish waste to go through the system, eliminate as much as I could to go through the system. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want too much going into the biochamber, even though the biochamber would have probably loved that. But I haven't put that much through the biochamber. UV lights, UV off, and then I used the good old Linux Pro, which is, it strikes flukes and gill flukes as well. So I've done the recommended dose from that, and turned the trickling off as well. So we just had the pumps will go in, backy shower flat out, everything running as normal apart from one of the screens out. And so yeah, we've done the treatment, left that for 5 days. Then what I done is I give the drains a bit of a flush again, give the drum a little bit of a clean, but there was not much in the drum because obviously I wasn't feeding the fish. Topped up the water again in the pond over the course of about 12 hours, dropped about an inch maybe, you know, with evaporation, because the drum obviously was turned off, so the evaporation of the pond was the only thing that I had to deal with. So it, you know, like a trickle in for the 12 hours, topped that right up, just so there's a little bit more fresh in there. I didn't mind diluting the first batch of treatment, and then we were ready to go again. So then obviously I hit it again with exactly the same recommended dose of Linux Pro, and that's where we're sitting at the moment, guys. So the fish have, I think the second treatment's been in there for about three to 4 days. So I think on Tuesday the trickling will go back on, the drum screen will get replaced, the UV will get turned on, and life will go on as normal for a week or two for these fish. Well, for about a week for these fish. So I'm going to get some more feed in these fish, and then only for about 4 or 5 days, to be honest. And then I've got to stop the feed, obviously, because they're going to be transported down to the show. And also I've got to reduce the temperature in the pond over the next 2 weeks to ambient temperature. Well, I've been recommended down to 16, 17 degrees, but my pond at the moment is 21 degrees. It just doesn't drop underneath that. So I can do what I can to try to eliminate some of the heat in there, but it's that's ambient temperature, so that's where it is. Ordered an oxygen bottle. Bought one of those, 110 litres. Asked a keen hobbyist about that, pointed me in the right direction. Bought that, lovely jubbly. So I should be turning up at the post very soon. I got my bags and I've got some boxes. I am considering getting some of those white insulated boxes that you see in fish markets and all that kind of stuff. Might pop over to Swansea Market, see if they've got any spare ones of those. They might be quite nice and quite handy to you know, transport the fish up. I did go down to a shop today to look at the Coleman ones, but they weren't big enough and they were like 80 quid each. You know, I'd want 4 or 5 of those, and I was thinking to myself, nah, they'd be all right. They come from Japan in a cardboard box in a condom, so they're going to be all right going up to Coventry, aren't they? But anyway, what we're going to do now is, so going back to the treatment, fish, boom. Not a speck on them, so that's good. I've also done exactly the same treatment to the quarantine pond as well, because when I scraped the tozai, they actually had more parasites on them than these bigger fish in this pond. So they've both gone through the test. When I PP'd the pond, the tozai pond, unfortunately, like I was saying, one of the tozai unfortunately passed away. The only way I can explain that is that it's probably had an underlying gill problem or something like that. But all the other tozai was absolutely fine, full of beans. As soon as I neutralized that, they were just absolutely fine, apart from that one. So well, I guess that's why people pay more money for Nisai and Sansai, don't they? Because you know you're getting a stable fish that's got no inherent problems. But yeah, there we are. Bit of a shame, but that's what it actually is, a very good big shame, because it was one of the very nice tozai that I was hoping to bring on to use as a show fish. But hey ho, you know, if it couldn't survive a small PP treatment, I didn't have much, you know, faith in it growing to be monster. But anyway, God bless its soul, it's gone. But anyway, there we are. No more said about that. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to try to fish some of these. I'm going to fill up my little vat first of all, get it to the temperature of this pond, and then I'm not going to put pond water in there, because this pond water at the moment has got loads of like algae in it, because obviously the UV's been off, the drum's bypassed, so you know it literally looks like a mud pond in the gutter. So what we're going to do is I'm going to fill up my sorry, I got a bit of earache at the moment. I'm going to fill up my big vat with tap water. I'm going to put a liquid dechlorinator in it. Make sure it's about 20 degrees C, and then we're going to try to get some of these fish out. And I'm a bit nervous about that, because some of these fish are absolutely mental. But I will say the PP and the treatment has really stripped the mucus off. You can see how vibrant those Hyatt series are now. They're absolutely, you know, before all the Hyatt series and stuff like that had a, you know, the sumi was a little bit, you know, covered with the mucus. Now it's there, boom, they're nice. So anyway, hey, might have been a good thing ready for the prep for the show, so who knows. So let's get this vat set up anyway. I've been talking for 18 minutes, I'm boring twat. Another little thing I've stocked up with, guys, is some salt. I've got some more actually down the garage. I've got some more carbon as well. So currently my big blue was only about half full of carbon. I filled the rest up with carbon just because I wanted to. And I've got about 12.5 kilos left there, which is probably enough to do the big blue on there if it ever needs to be done. But this is what we're doing now. I've just put the dechlorinator in there for, I don't know, I'm only going to fill this about quarter full. And what I've done is I've put a little shade over here, so when I'm filming the fish, do you know what I mean, I don't get any of that glare from the sun. Well, I'm hoping that's going to work. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, we'll go from there. Now then, that's what you call green water, guys. But like I said, you know, if you look at the drum, so we've got a whole screen out there, and yeah, what I might do is replace this screen later on this afternoon and just give it a quick clean, just to get rid of the poo that's on there. But yeah, lovely. That's going as well. My bicarb works pretty well actually, to be honest. Buffers it well. Still looks a little bit rudimentary, but we'll get there. What I am going to do later as well is I got a 3,000 pump down there which is not used. I'm going to replace it with a 20,000 to smash even more over my bathing shower. So, aye, there we are. Let's get this filled up. I'm quite chuffed with this little vat, guys. It's on a bit of a slope here, but it's going to work. Lovely. Right guys, so here you can see my Omosako Shiro. I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's too shabby. The Sumi is actually ink black, so you know, I don't think that's too shabby at all to possibly, I don't know. But anyway, comment guys, see what you think. I'm going to measure, I think it might be a hair, who knows. So this is a Yugenji Shirayutsuri. I actually think that's a very nice fish as well. Excuse the pink coming up on the Saroji there, but it is literally, it's only since I've just netted it now. It's a lovely fish. I think that's a good fish, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's got a little bit more benny to come up on the nose, but I think that is a pucker gen fish. So we're going to measure it now. The last Omosaka was just under 45 cm, so that might just qualify to go into the 35 to 45. So this is one of my favourite fish in here. It's a little sank. I really like this fish. Yeah, I really like this fish. Look at the body on it. It's just so nice. It's got signs of some Motoguru coming up on the pectoral fins as well. I think that is going to grow into something special. Lovely 3-step Kahaku pattern there. Benny is super deep and strong. I've noticed it's holding a tiny bit of mucus just on that shoulder there. I've got 2 weeks to get rid of that. If only that was going to develop a tiny bit of sumi on the front shoulder or the front bit of benny, it would be amazing. But everything else about that fish is fantastic, and I don't think it should be dismissed for not having that tiny little bit of sumi on that top 1/3. But I think that's definitely worth coming, because I think the body shape alone on that and the sumi, the benny, sorry, and the Saroji, when that is not stressed out, is worth its weight in chips. So yeah, I think I'm going to take that. Like I said guys, I haven't got a load to take, but what I have got to take is, they're quite nice fish. They stand as good a chance as anything else. But look at the pigment in the scales there, just coming through since I've been using that sake colour. Yeah, this fish is going to be pretty special when it grows, I think. So it's a Taniguchi boy. Yeah, so I'll give him a measure now, or her a measure. It's more than likely going to be a female, I think. I'm no expert, but I ain't going to be prodding around with a vent, I know that. But anyway, that's another one. So here's a lovely Ginnerin Goshki. That is quite impressive, to be honest. The Ginnerin scales like literally wrap all the way around. That is one fine fish. Yeah, not quite sure of the breeder, can't remember, but yeah, that is quite nice. That is quite nice. So guys, this is my little selection of of tozai that I'm probably going to be bringing. So we've got my Issa Grow and Show shower. We've got a Deutz Goshki. We've got another Ginrin Goshki, which is absolutely fantastic. We've got a Ginrin Hiyatsuri, which is stunning. And that is my Grow and Show Issa shower. So I'm going to measure these now. These are probably all being category 1, is it? Is that how they do it? Or is it the other way around? Who knows? But anyway, I'm going to measure these now. So I think the Benny's dropped off that one a bit too much at the moment. Right, there we are, guys. I've had a bit of a chin wag with an expert, and there's some of those fish I'm taking, some of the fish I'm not taking. I've got plenty of other fish, but there's no point pissing in the wind with something that is a lovely fish but really doesn't stand a chance. I don't think I stand a chance anyway, but I'm going to go and I'm going to learn. And I'm going to transport fish there and I'm going to take fish back, girlfriend. Right, another little thing. Mate, when you get to 46, cut the jalapenos out. I have got heartburn, big time. And I tell you what else I've just done. I've changed my, listen to that decibel. Do you know what that is? 30,000 litres an hour going over that shower. So what I've done is I've got something on my eye there. Oh, it's a cut. What I've done is I've changed my 20,000 vary with a 3,000 with a 30,000 vary. I've just whacked it up. Do you know what? Let's degas this pond. It was quite tight getting down there, and I tell you what, you know, like when you're 46 and you're not in mint condition and you've got a bit of a gilly, and if you don't know what a gilly is, it's when your belly and willy meet. I think women get a gunt and men get a gilly. But anyway, I've got to get rid of this gilly. On the positive note, my whippet has lost a kilo, 1 whole kilogram in 2 weeks of eating properly and a little bit more exercise. Oh my God, what are you doing? Spit it out. Spit it out. Thank God for that. One of my shearers just had a bit of K1 in its mouth and spat it out. Bloody fish. Bloody K1. I've got earache again. I don't know if anyone knows, but I'm totally deaf in this ear because I got blown up in Afghanistan in 2006, and this ear is totally deaf. This one is, you know, not very good for 46 years old, I'm not going to lie, but it does the job. And do you know what? What that and that certainly doesn't hear, my brain fills in the gaps. That's why I always mispronunciate my worms, and I don't know what everyone's saying to me. So when you see me and talk to me in the National, make sure it's on the right side and speak up. Anyway, the last thing I'm probably going to do is have a ready. I just forgot to tell you, when I was putting that new pump on down there, it's a bit tight, guys, I'm not going to lie, it is very tight down there. And I was bent over and I was proper out of more, mate. Some noises coming out of me because of my gilly. I felt like a gorilla putting a bloody dinner suit on. But anyway, everything's pretty fine. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to clear up this water a little bit. I'm going to put the drum back onto the work cycle, turn it on, get the drum cleaning, and because there's a few bits of mucus kicking around, I'm going to salt the pond up. So I know lots of people don't like it, but I think the fish have had a bit of a stressful time with the treatments and all that kind of stuff. I'm not their best friend, so what I'm going to do is, excuse me, get this pond up to about, bloody yeah, like shooting pains to me. Get the pond up to about 0.3 or 0.6. What do you guys think? But I think if I put a whole bag in here, brings it up to about the right status. I'm putting a whole bag in there anyway, that's what it's going to do. I'm not going to pre-dissolve it, I'm going to do it the Japanese way. It's getting poured in the pond, and that's it. And the air bubbles will just dissipate it anyway. You can get salt burns though if it directly contacts the fish, but not through the water, I don't think. Well, let's put it this way. I've seen plenty of fish in koi breeders in Japan, bag open and they're walking around. And you know who you are, Mr. Sakai. Anyway, so yeah, hopefully these fish will survive their journey, and you'll see a few of them. Now, I haven't put all my fish on this video. I put a few on the video for a bit of fun, but I can tell you now, there's a few fish that's going to surprise people in my vat, because I've been keeping them secret. But anyway, what we're going to do is, got that, fill up the pond and get the drum working. So guys, anyway, I'm looking forward to going to the National. I think we'll have one more video before I go to the National anyway, but looking forward to the National, looking forward to hanging out and talking to as many people as I can, and experienced hobbyists if I can. Yeah, I'll find you wherever you are and we'll have a drink. I'm actually a nice guy. Actually, I'm a shit off guy, to be honest. Apart from my heartburn and my gun, my gilly. You'll see me, it'll be the belly walking first past each vat. But anyway, apart from that, I think I might have decided on my next filtration system for my new pond. I'm not going to say anything because I'm hoping to have a walk around the factory. And it's not what you think it's going to be. They're very special. Yeah, really cool. But I also want to talk to a lot of people at the show and work out if the dimensions of my pond, what I'm planning to put on it, and all this kind of stuff is going to work well, because I just want that pond to work like clockwork. I want to start growing some quality fish. I've bought some quality fish. Some of them are on the way over from Japan right now. Some of them are on the way over from Japan in November. So we've got to get this right. I don't know what it is. I just feel that me expanding this pond was great fun. I loved it. I loved every single minute of it. But it's still not giving me the volume. I've still got small pond syndrome, and it's just not right. It's not right for, you know, the race horses I want to breed. You know, it hasn't got the right turnover. It's a lovely pond, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure most people out there that know my channel and seen the pond would love to have a pond like this. And just give me a shout, I'll come and help you build one. I've been helping a few people build their ponds. I invest too much time, to be honest. My missus is going to get annoyed at some point. But anyway, on a good side, my mate Steve, whose pond I was plumbing up last week, he's decided to send the compact M back and go with a compact L. So yeah, I didn't really have the heart to push him to get that, but I definitely suggested it a few times, and I know it's all money at the end of the day, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? They're not cheap. I think there's about 1,500 quid difference in that, but I know some people who know some people, and I might be able to get a bit better deal off someone. But anyway, like I said, I might be getting a better deal on a drum from someone. I'm not going to mention any names, but I ain't profited nothing. All that money that I can get off is going to go back into Steve's pocket, because I don't need nobody's money. I make my own, just about. What else? I think that's about it for this one, guys. So remember, when you're doing a treatment, don't just go through the motions. Discipline, concurrent activity, and preparation. By the way, I am making stickers on my new logo. That would have been on the start of this one, wasn't it? Super cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that logo on the TV, even though I've done it. I'm not sure if that makes me up myself or not, but I love that logo. It's well cool. Everybody loves Full Metal Jacket, don't they? Yeah, anyway, but yeah, treatment's good, pumps changed, selection of the fish is almost complete. Starting to prep the fish now in the next week or so, ready for the show. Pond temperature has got to be slowly reduced. Not that I'm expecting it to be reduced very much, because it is ambient temperature is just, you know, what it is. They have to slowly come off the feed. They haven't been feeding for a week anyway already, so you know, I want to put them back on the feed a little bit now. Not too much, because I don't want to overload my system again, so I'll have to slowly build that up. Back on the feed now, nice and slow and steady. Keep a good track of the water parameters. Parasites are gone. I'm sure they'll be back, but what can you do? Do you know what I mean? Flow rate is looking ferocious there. Well cool. Yeah. I'm not going to say again. I think that's all I've got to say, guys. So hopefully you like this one. I haven't said this one for a while, but if you like this video, please like it and subscribe if you're not. But my views and my followers seem to match suit. Do you know what I mean? So never quite trust people that's got 100,000 followers and only 2,000 views. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me, but I'm about right, so I'm happy with that. Thank you everyone for watching my stuff, and I can't believe you're actually watching it, to be honest. I think I'm very, very close. What am I, like 30 off 20 or 30 subscribers off 4,000 followers? Mad, isn't it? But anyway, I'm sure I'm going to get more when I get to Japan, because we're going to do some good videos over there. If you don't follow him already, go and follow Koi Partner. He's been in Japan for about 10 or 14 days or something. Dropped a bombshell earlier on. I watched it when I was having a number 2. And he's got a load of really nice videos set up from his travels in Japan, which are always very interesting and very Dutch, but I like the Dutch, to be honest. Oh, I should keep up. Anyway, so gold member. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching the channel, and I'll see you again very soon. Not this week, next week, probably.